Wave. Me on the beat too. Look, yeah. Okay.
What's up? We're back with another video. Today we are doing the long awaited mukbang. Now, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, share with the people, because if you haven't already, what are you doing? Share it. We're trying to get back on this grind. But hope you enjoy the mukbang today. And let's get right into it. Tonight's meal is a home cooked meal. We got the broccoli. We got some chicken that was made in the air fryer. And then we got the classic white rice. Where's the bev? We got the brisk iced tea. Right? Yup. Now we finna get into it. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. We gotta talk about the Navy experience. So if you don't know, I decided to join the US Navy. I was medically discharged, but I did go through the training experience for the most part. So I left around the 5th week mark. So it was like coming towards the end. Now, if you've seen the video where, like, you know, they kind of give you the insight and stuff like that of the different boot camp experience, it's a little bit exaggerated. The beginning of it, you know, obviously, like, as you're getting off the bus, there's a lot of yelling and stuff like that. But that's like basically trying to get you hyped up. Let me see. The petty officers, the chiefs and everything, I mean, they're obviously gonna try to get to your bad side. But again, like, don't go in there with the mindset of thinking you run things, because it's not gonna work. It's not. What else? The food there, mid. What else? For all the guys, y'all obviously have to shave your heads. Now, later on in training, you could get something called a chit, which is kind of them permitting you to let you grow your hair out. But your first day of training, you're going in there with a bald head. Like, you'll go in there with your hair, but like day one, you're shaving it all off. Now, I did a Q&A, and I was surprised that people didn't really ask any questions about it. Like, I thought I was going to get a lot of questions in regards to that, but obviously not. But it's fine, because I'm talking about it now. I went in there as an E2 because of college credits. What else? You don't get your phone throughout the entire time of training. So your phone goes inside of something called a Diddy box. So everything you came in with goes in there. Your shoes, your clothes, jewelry, your phone, everything. Everything goes in there, and you get it back at the end of training. Depending on the circumstance, you may be able to access it, but you do have to pay to get access to your phone. To make calls and everything, you'll kind of do, it's like prison style. So there's like a bunch of phones and stuff like that lined up where you sit down and you talk. You buy a phone card. It's like you either pay $10 or $20. I think $10, it's like 1 hour. $20 is like 5 hours total. Throughout your entire time of training, you do get 3 calls. That's it. So your first initial phone call when you first walk through those doors is to just be like, that's That's when you use your actual phone. That's to be like, hey, like I made a save, blah blah blah, and that's the last time you use your phone. The next call is kind of like after a few weeks, just kind of, you know, just to get an hour phone call, just to talk, give any updates if you want. What else? After that, the next call is to kind of be, it's kind of like the halfway mark, where you're just also giving another rundown of how things are, if you're on the right track to even graduate. Good. Then the final call is to kind of be like, tell them if you're actually going to make it to graduation or not, so that your families could actually book any flights, hotel stays, and all that. Let me see. So people, I'm trying to think of like what people actually be interested in. So the training, the actual exercises and stuff, because there's a lot of PT. It's not really that bad. It's pretty manageable. The only thing I would say, if you're not really a runner, I think that's where people tend to not do good at. Like, I'm not a runner at all. So, running, yeah, you would have thought I had asthma. But, you know, we made it work. They do try to motivate you, so they'll really, like, oh, don't walk. There's no walking. Keep running, even if you're just jogging, whatever. Like, run. There was obviously little things like push-ups and stuff, but push-ups wasn't really their main focus when you're getting like PT'd or IT'd. I think their main focus is something called 8 counts. I'm not gonna demonstrate that, but 8 counts do include push-ups in it, so do what you want with that information. They're heavy on you staying clean. So if you go in there dirty, like if your household was like real dirty and you ain't never really take showers, you're taking a shower, you're brushing your teeth, you're doing your hair, like as a female, you know, like there's no such thing as bad hygiene, because trust and believe you will get caught out on it. What else? For guys, I'm trying to think for the guys, like on what to expect, but obviously I can only speak for a female perspective. But obviously you're able to write letters and everything. You can basically write whenever you want. Not whenever, I'm sorry. How much you want, as long as you have the supplies for it. Mail comes in almost every day, basically, besides like weekends. I think mail also gets sent out basically every day, if I'm not mistaken. There's a bunch of jobs you can do while you're in training. So like there's something called AROC, RPOC. RPOC is like the head of everybody. So they're kind of like, before you go to like your petty officer or chief, you would go to the RPOC, and she would try to diffuse the situation or try to give you the best advice before having to go to like the actual adults. There's something called I'm trying to think, laundry PO. I'm trying to remember this one. I forgot, but yeoman. That's what I was. I was a yeoman. So a yeoman basically is in charge of all the paperwork, your medical stuff, PT stuff, related information, everything. If you want to go to like medical, if you want to go to like doctors, you have to go to yeoman for that. Dentist, yeoman. Anywhere you want to go, you gotta go to the yeoman, so that she or he can sign you out and do all that stuff. And she's the one who got to stay on top of it, because the petty officers in chief would come to you and be like, where's this person? Where was this last person seen? Blah, blah, blah. Or where did they say they were going? All that stuff. That's what I was. It's a lot. What else? So obviously you go through like different training weeks. So firefighting week was pretty fun. It was actually really interesting. That's the week when we had the quote unquote gas chambers. They called it something else. But I'm gonna just say gas chambers for the purpose of the video, but it's not called gas chambers. But basically you're put in a room, you're going in the room with your mask on, then you take it off, and then while let the chemical like actually have an effect to you, then you have to hold your mask above your head, and then you gotta say whatever phrase, and then the whole line has to say it. So if one person's taking their time, you gotta sit there just like coughing and stuff like that. It's really funny. I actually almost like fainted because they like rush you out. So once you're back in the fresh air trying to like hurry up, I almost like fainted because it was just like, yeah, I couldn't function. What else? You do lose weight. I know some people are curious about that. I do actually lose weight. You do. The time I was there, I lost about 20 pounds. So that wasn't bad at all. Swim. If you're good in the Navy, my recommendation, know how to swim. Like, go in there already knowing how to swim. They do teach you. They do teach you, but if you don't get it within the first, and you really technically have unlimited tries to pass up until graduation. After that, you could get held back. And then I know somebody, for example, who couldn't pass the swim. I don't know how many tries she had, but it got to the point where they sent her home, and then she had to go swim with like a professional instructor and everything, and then 2 months later she had to come back and then reattempt the swim test. What else? I know, you definitely gotta stay motivated. Like, you do need a lot of self-motivation for it. Because you're the one in there. Your family's not with you. And if people's not writing you back, it could be more stressful. Like, I had a journal, and I would grab it, but I'll probably grab it later in the video just to show y'all. So stay to the end. You'll probably see a little snippet of my journal. But I had a journal, and I wrote in it every single day and every single night, just to like clear my thoughts, say how I'm feeling that day, whether I'm stressed, overwhelmed, tired. Even if it was a good day, like I even wrote that down. Like, today wasn't so bad, like it was actually pretty fun. There's a lot of marching as well. A lot. There's certain things though that you should be excited to experience while in training. So for example, when you get your official uniform, I feel like that experience people are like really excited about, because it's kind of like that realization of like, I'm really here. I'm really in the process of joining the armed forces, the Navy, the Army, whatever the case may be. Like, I'm really here. Like, I feel like that's like the real realization. So that tends to be like really exciting. Then later on, when you get your other uniform, like for graduation, the uniform you will wear for that, that's also another one that's like, yo, like we made it this far, you know. that also tends to be interesting. What else? Obviously you miss a lot of stuff. Like you probably miss your phone for a little bit, but after a while, it's really a good break. I feel like from your phone, like it's a much needed break from it. What else? Music. I missed music so much. If y'all want a part 2 to this, by the way, let me know, because I could really get into like what separations process was like, as well as holding. What holding was. I could get into all that, but I'm gonna just stick to just the basic training in general. I'm not gonna get into all that stuff. So if y'all want to know about that, like, don't be afraid to ask. What else? It's definitely interesting too when you're buying everything you need, because you go in there like with perfume and everything. You're not allowed to wear perfume in there, like as a female or male, cologne, whatever. You're not allowed to wear that stuff. No, you can't really have any fragrance stuff. The most fragrance you're getting is like from your soap, your hair stuff, deodorant. But like body sprays and lotions, like it gotta be fragrance free for the most part, unless it's like cocoa butter or something like that. Then you have a lot of females who go in there, like you could tell like how females grow up when you're with a bunch of them in a room all night, because it's like some females literally have no respect for others. Like there's a few times that I've been trying to sleep, and my bunkmate, she'll just talk and talk and talk with the people around me, and it's like I'm trying to sleep. I'm trying to get as much sleep as I can, because some nights you're waking up at like 3-4 in the morning, and it's like I'm trying to get as much sleep as I can. It's a long day. What else? There's something called night watch, or standing watch. So you got the roamer. That's not what it's called, but we're just gonna say that. The person who roams around the entire room. So for example, at night, if you're doing it at night, you're just kind of making sure nobody's doing anything they're not supposed to. You make sure everybody's asleep, making sure nobody's in harm's way either. Because I remember there was one situation that I got into where there was a flooding in the room, as well as another time I was on watch. I had to rush out and go find an adult because the person was having a seizure, and we had to get an ambulance and everything. That person ended up being okay, but scary moment. What else? If you're security watch, so you basically stand at the door, like stand facing the door, and then whenever like somebody comes in, you just gotta give them like the brief update, like is everything okay and stuff like that. During the day, the security watch does the same thing. At night during the day for the roamer, it's also basically the same thing. You also take temperature of everything, make sure the temperature is right in every room, because you have the laundry room, the bathroom, stuff like that. You gotta also make sure everything's just like in good order. What else? Trying to think. During chow, breakfast, lunch, dinner, there's no talking. You can easily get in trouble. Even if one person talks, everybody's gonna get in trouble. That's just how it is. Like, is it that we're all a team in there? We're one division. So there's no talking. No standing up really when you want to, stuff like that. Um, that I think the chow also would get you in the mindset of making healthier food options. In my opinion, there were literally some days, and it was like so funny because like one day the food was just so bad. One day that my entire table was eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I mean, every single person. Like, you look across and see people with like peanut butter and jelly and stuff like that, and it was like hilarious. But I thought it was funny. Other people started looking around and they also started laughing. What else? Obviously, you do learn how to like shoot a gun and stuff in there while you're there. Sadly, I didn't make it that far. I got put into holding literally the day of when my division was gonna go to the gun range and stuff like that. But I was only there for the part of. I was there for the day before. The day before was when we practiced on how to take apart a gun and put it back together and stuff like that, or a weapon, I should say. So I know I love broccoli. I don't know if it's just me, but I love it. What else? I'm trying to think. Like, I really thought people was gonna ask me questions in regards to this in my Q&A, but oh, you do meet a lot of people in there. Obviously, you meet a lot of people from different backgrounds. Like currently to this day, I'm still in contact with one of my friends from training. You know, it's crazy this because she was also in separations at the time and everything. Like, me and her got separated and stuff like that. Same medical discharge. Today she's a corrections officer, so she works in a prison in the area she lives in, which I'm really proud of her for. You know, it's crazy to say like how far she's come. Me, I'm in college now. You know, I'm taking it one step at a time, trying to figure my life out. But overall, training is not as the video seems. You do have a lot of stuff that's like you would feel like they're doing too much about. Like, there was times where I was just like, alright, relax, it's not that deep. But you know, you can't say that. You gotta take it. Like, I remember one time I was getting yelled at and I got called trash. I got told that my mom don't want me back and stuff like that. That's why I'm here now. You know, little stuff like that. Like, they're not gonna go as far as like curse you and call you names in a disrespectful way. Like, they'll say stuff like trash, but you know, really disrespectful things, they wouldn't go as far as saying like the B word and stuff like that to you. But yeah, what else? You do go to class. Like, you have classes to take and you do have tests to take while you're there. So you have to learn. So like for Navy, you have to go in there and learn about like the different aircraft, the different ships, medical stuff. So you kind of get hands-on experience as well with like fire hose, first responder stuff. So kind of like CPR, all that, how to transfer our body to like the little bed and stuff like that, all that stuff. Which was pretty fun, I would say. I would say week 1 would be the busiest week you have, or the most draining, because it's just a lot of medical stuff you have to go through, because they gotta make sure you're fully cleared. Dental stuff. If you don't like needles, yeah, so many needles. If you don't know what the peanut butter shot is, yeah, that wasn't fun. Peanut butter shot. You get a bunch of shots in your arms. What else? Dental stuff. Females, basic little exams and stuff like that. I don't know about the males. Eye exams. Just like every medical exam, just to make sure you're cleared. What else? Yeah. It's really a good experience though. I feel like I'm not gonna sit here and tell people don't join. Like, join if you really feel like that's the best option for you. Like, there's nothing against nobody. I know people currently who's in the military, in the army specifically, not the Navy but the army. I have an uncle who's the army vet. I wouldn't knock it. It's really a good. It's different, so it could be all fun at times in training, but overall, training is supposed to make you learn things. So remember that too. And they're trying to make you have thicker skin. So a lot of people who I know went in there with a mindset that they run things, they get to say how it is and think it's gonna go. They got in a lot of trouble, like a lot of trouble. Like, higher ups got involved plenty of times and everything. So it's kind of like pick your battle, I would say, in joining the military, because it's kind of like have thick skin. I like, that's the biggest thing. I feel like have thick skin, like, because in a lot of ways it might be easy, but in a lot of ways it's definitely hard. And at this point, I'm not really speaking on just training, even though I didn't make it that far, like, you know, in the military life. I feel like just broadly, just have thick skin when going into the military. If you don't, and you do still decide to go, you will leave with thicker skin and everything. But yeah, you know. But if y'all have any questions, let me know. I'm willing to answer any questions. I'm willing to do another part of this, just to kind of talk about it more. I'll add a picture somewhere in here. On what my picture looked like with my uniform on, so y'all can kind of see what it was like, what I look like. Alright, and if you stayed to the end, which I hope you did, I did say I would give y'all a little snippet of my journal and, you know, just things that I wrote about. So I kept all different photos that was sent to me in my time there, as well as any letters I've received during my time there. And then, of course, my journal. These were all sent to me while I was in training. They were little memes. So one of the things, let me see, that I wrote about. Let's see here. So tap is basically when you go to sleep. So basically I was talking about us having an early tap, but we wake up early. We wake up at 4 in the morning, because that next day was our I forgot what the word is, but our first kind of training session of running and everything. I forgot, but our first little session that we have. So see how many push-ups you can do, sit-ups, how long can you do a plank, all that stuff, those stuff. So we had an early tap that day. So I think we went to sleep that day at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I think. And then but we had to be up and ready by 4 in the morning. So you had to be dressed by 4. So just imagine, there's no showering in the morning, so you don't got to worry about that. But like brushing your teeth, doing your hair, make sure your hair is nice and slick and everything. Also, people will try to wake you up earlier than what you need. Like, I make sure I get every second of sleep. So talk about that. My very first letter that I received in training was, "I'm proud of you. Keep fighting and pushing yourself past limits you ain't know you had before. I miss you already, but I know you're doing something life-changing and good for you. I love you and don't let up." That was my first letter. I'm not going to say who it was. If the person watches the video, they know who they are, who wrote me that. I got letters from my mom, of course, my mom's boyfriend, my cousin. I also got letters from people from my previous university. They were also really supportive. Some images that I got was food, more food, because they know I couldn't eat. Pictures of my niece, which I gotta make sure I have the okay to post her on here before I show her. My mom sent me a picture of us the day of my prom. My dog. I miss my dog. I was missing him like crazy. I got sent a picture of literally myself. Yeah, I'm not going to show other pictures because it's of other people, and I want to make sure I have their permission before just posting them, obviously. But yeah, but hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was a good little mukbang for you guys because I know y'all been asking for it. But if you haven't already, again, like, comment, share with the people, and subscribe, because again, what are you doing? Why haven't you subscribed yet? But thank you for watching and hope to see you back.